Police are identifying the suspect they believe started the fire here at the Sienna Hotel in Chapel Hill as 60-year-old Randall Bullock. Police were posted up here starting early this morning, really, at the Sienna Hotel on Franklin Street.
All Republicans in the Senate are all in on it. Republicans in the House are absolutely not going to vote for it right now. That's according to Speaker Destin Hall.
The stage is set here for the president's address at Fort Bragg. This is a visit, his second visit to North Carolina this year.
These changes are routinely challenged in federal court. Democrats asked Senator Heiss about the possibility of that this morning and asked him about the potential that taxpayers would have to take on costs if there's a legal battle here.
We're kind of talking about the potential impacts of that Charlotte light rail murder and the fallout that kind of became national. Looks like that has not impacted her. North Carolina does not have a cashless bail in place. The president did put out a message stating that that was the case, but that is not the case in North Carolina. But are you suggesting there needs to be a change to the justice system?
Well, and I think that that's what you heard today coming from our legislative leaders.
Is there a way you think to, in effect, turn down the temperature and ensure that discussion about these difficult topics can remain just that, discussion, not violence?
You don't think something like this could happen, but everything could change in a day, man. It was pretty scary. It was terrifying, dude.
Carlos Delgado returned to his Goldsboro apartment building Monday afternoon, his first chance to see the damage up close.
And my TV should be right there.
Delgado was at home when a fire broke out just before 2 p.m. on Sunday.
I was in that bedroom right there. I was asleep. There's a bed to the left of that window, and I was just lying there asleep.
That's when a friend gave him the most important wake-up call of his life.
He burst into my bedroom, and he just said, "Carlos, fire, get out now." And I've never seen him that panicked. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, there's a fire on the other side of this wall, and if I don't leave right now, I'm gonna die.
Delgado rushed out of the building with nothing but the clothes on his back and watched as flames rose above the complex.
One more?
But Molina says the progress Lyric and other children on Medicaid are making is in jeopardy. In October, the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services cut provider reimbursement rates for this treatment by 3%. It could impact many of the 200 children her office sees every week.
How many are on Medicaid right now?
70% are on Medicaid.
So this recent cut, you said it was a 3% cut. How does that affect your operations here if 70% of your patients are on Medicaid?
We're now at the breaking point. My turn.
The cuts are forcing Molina to limit visits and treatment duration for Medicaid patients while capping the number of Medicaid patients the office takes on.
Ready?
Therapists are paid by appointment, and rising costs are hitting hard.
Snacky!
Molina says she has enough money for just 2 more payrolls.
This is actually threatening the viability of my company. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't need another loan, and I don't get paid until all the other bills are paid. So at what point can my family hold on?
Oh my. As a disagreement between lawmakers in Raleigh persists, parents are perplexed.
Honestly, it feels like a slap in the face.
Wong sees the connection Lyric has with Molina.
Eating new things. Yeah.
And fears her daughter's progress may stop if therapy here isn't an option.
What do we do for people who haven't been to school, who don't have the letters behind their name, we're just regular people trying to give everything we can to our babies. And then to not have that would be really devastating.
One by one.
To me, it was surreal. It was unbelievable.
Hundreds of wine bottles are headed for the landfill. Wine stores among the dozens of shops along East Franklin Street in Chapel Hill now forced to throw out product by the dumpster load, leaving a red wine puddle across the parking lot. The building was filled with waist-high water in Sunday's flooding.
And as soon as we opened up the door, we tried the back door first. We couldn't get in. It's emotional, like what the heck happened here?
The water likely seeped through the corks of thousands of dollars of bottles, meaning they must be tossed. As cleanup begins, the bigger task will be replacing the store's technology and tearing out the walls.
There's going to be a lot of construction here. I think this is going to be about 2 months before it's back in operation.
Stores across the complex are boarded up as owners regroup. We were allowed inside Birkenstock feet first, where glass and debris is scattered amongst hundreds of new shoes, which are now caked in mud. Water took out the back wall of the shoe store, caving in sections of the ceiling, toppling displays along the way. What's left of the metal-framed front window still lays just beyond the entrance, unable to withstand the force of the flooding. A few miles away in Carborough, work is underway at the flooded Canterbury townhomes. Homes are being gutted as heaps of waterlogged insulation, damaged doors, and sinks sit outside, along with signs the tenants are heading elsewhere for now. The building's owner took us inside what he says is
kind of a disaster.
Water left behind warping floorboards and wet walls. The levels here were high enough to move this fridge.
This time is the worst one.
In a backyard shed outside of his Chapel Hill home, one man has been keeping track of a change in the tides.
Everything that people see nowadays, folks are questioning. Is it real? That is only getting worse.
Frank Eaton has been producing political television ads since the mid-2000s, sometimes spending weeks getting the perfect shot.
3 weeks. We gave children axes.
Then working through a mountain of footage to prepare a spot.
Great line.
All on his own.
The fact that it is real is worth something.
But in recent years, he's noticed a new technology creeping its way into these political ads.
It only started maybe 2-3 years ago.
Eaton showed us examples from the New York mayoral race.
Cuomo released an ad that is almost completely AI.
Contrasting images in former Governor Andrew Cuomo's ad.
Fake. You'll see the disclaimer here is this political communication was created with the assistance of artificial intelligence.
With the real-life visuals included in a spot he produced for another candidate.
I think that people are desperate for anything that looks real.
Eaton admits there's incentive to use artificial intelligence if campaigns don't want to shell out for the real thing.
TV is the most expensive part of our democracy. Anything that a producer can do to save a campaign money in an ad production is premium.
But he's concerned more AI could further erode the public confidence in political candidates.
It is deeply dangerous to democracy to introduce anything that will allow people to question the process. Right. It's going to come down to people saying, like, you can't use AI because I demand to know who this person is.
Reagan Perry is always on the go.
I don't think people realize how much you move around in a day until you have that ability taken from you.
But in the last 8 years, how she moves has changed.
Just a normal walking foot.
Her journey began on the courts.
At 15, I was playing tennis and noticed some pain in my shin. Went to the doctor, found out I had a 7.5-inch non-cancerous bone tumor.
The tumor left her with severe pain and limited mobility, forcing her to make a difficult decision.
I wanted to save my leg. I spent years trying to save my leg, but it got to a point where I wanted to move on with my life.
The hope of more movement prompted an amputation in early 2024. After recovery, therapy, and fittings, Perry was able to stand on her own again.
Once I finally got a prosthetic, it was like such a big accomplishment to be able to go to the grocery store on my own. Just the freedom that I started coming back into as soon as I got this was life-changing off the bat.
But one part of her life didn't return.
I wish I could go shoot basketball with some friends or get on the tennis court or even just take my dog for a walk. I've been chasing that since I was 15. I just want to get back to that.
After her amputation, Reagan was surprised to learn insurance only covers a leg for walking, forcing her to shell out more than $50,000 if she wants a prosthetic to get back on the tennis courts. For so many, the price is far from feasible.
That doesn't seem right, because if I were to have torn my ACL, that's technically an elective surgery to get repaired, and insurance covers that elective surgery and all the rehab or braces or anything else you need to return to sport after that. Whereas I didn't really have an option to undergo amputation, but once you become an amputee, insurance says that walking is all you need.
They've already had the trauma. We need to get them back to what they were.
That approach is already taken in the military, where VA benefits cover multiple prosthetics and therapies.
That was in Afghanistan, and that was the day we finally got out of there. That's the control tower after we retook the airfield.
Freshman Republican State Representative Grant Campbell served 3 tours overseas working as a trauma surgeon in the Army.
I had to be part of that decision sometimes to say, is this leg, is this arm salvageable.
Campbell is sponsoring legislation named after Perry. Reagan's law would require insurance companies to expand their coverage to help everyday people return to action.